Okay, Mr. Cyrus. So are you now telling me? I thought you came into this whole podcasting or this whole media space to be like a neutral person who wouldn't pick sides when it comes to politics. But right now, it seems you are heading towards Nana Kwame Bediako. That is cheddar. Why is it so? What changed?
Well, it is interesting. Politics is all about numbers. Politics is about a collective number. Politics is about the movement of that number towards a particular destination. If you look at the demography of Ghana, we are so divided.
Okay.
After studying politics in Ghana for a while, I've come to understand that politicians, as in NDC and MPP, their wish is that every podcaster, every political podcaster, every person who speaks on social issues, whether on regular television or on social media, they wish you would stay neutral. It is in their favor that you stay neutral. This is what I mean. If Tuntum Network stays neutral forever, and let's say who? Koju Sheldon stays neutral forever. And who again? Somebody else who does podcasting. And I don't know the names.
Zion Felix,
Zion
they have
Felix.
Magra Heb, those kind of people.
Let them all stay neutral forever. That will be the ideal situation or expectation of the two main parties in Ghana. They would prefer you stay neutral like that, so that you can never come together as one and become a real threat to their establishment.
Okay.
And so if you are neutral, I am neutral, the other person is neutral, this guy is neutral, we are already divided.
Okay.
We can never, in our neutrality, be any threat.
Okay.
Because we are working in isolation. And that is easy to, dissipate the energy.
Yeah.
It's easy to, make you quiet or something like that. But the moment you are not neutral, but you are working towards something that can bring together people, then it becomes threatening. Then they are scared. That is where I'm heading towards now.
But why did you choose Nana Kwame Bediako upon every candidate you know about? Why that particular person?
Listen, you have to look at the manifestos of all the political parties.
Okay.
You look at the NDC manifesto, look at the MPP manifesto, you look at their track record, because they have been in government before.
Yeah.
Then you look at Nana Kwame's life outside of politics.
Okay.
As a private businessman.
Okay.
And then you look at his manifesto of what he's promising to come and do.
Okay.
And I had an interview here with Kofi Koranteng.
Okay.
You look at his ideologies of what he wants to come and do in politics.
Okay.
You juxtapose them side by side and you say, which one would best suit Ghana, specifically in these times of hardship, hyperinflation, joblessness, youth running away from the country.
Yeah.
Which policies, which manifesto is able to deal with this kind of problems? So it's not just about Nana Kwame Bediako.
Okay.
It's about what he's saying, what Kofi Koranteng is saying.
Okay.
These guys are coming off as people who have figured out real solutions to our problems.
Okay.
I'm looking for real solutions, bro. I'm not looking for business as usual from these two parties.
Okay.
What they have in their manifesto is business as usual.
Okay.
When you tell someone that all the things I've done in the past which hasn't worked for a country, I'll come back and do the same thing. It clearly states to the person that you don't really have new ideas. I've said it on this platform time and again. There is a policy of agricultural whatever in NDC's manifesto, which I liked. I liked so much. But there is an element missing.
Okay.
Which I feel that one element missing is the reason that thing will fail.
And what was that?
They have a policy of developing lands, farmlands. They have a policy of developing the farmlands, putting in all the infrastructure, electricity, drainage systems, road access, everything in it. But it will be driven by private farmers. Private farmers, individual farmers.
Okay.
And I said to some of their big men, your ideology is beautiful, but the execution is wrong. We have seen this type before. If you do all this and put it in the hands of private farmers,
okay,
you are putting your destiny in people that you cannot literally control. What stops the nation from farming itself? What stops Ghana from being competitive itself? As in, you do all the things you want to do, set the farm, do the roads, and then government itself is going to farm. So that government can control how many hours farmers are working, so that even if you want to do your 24-hour farming, 8 hours per shift, you are not dependent on private people who would wake up in the morning and feel like, today I don't want to go to work. That is what private people do.
Yeah.
Private farmer, if he wakes up, he doesn't feel like going to work, he stay.
Yeah.
If he goes to work and he feels like working 2 hours,
he will do it.
And then come back home. You see how it works?
Yeah.
But when you have a government who is working with time and machines and having an expectation in mind, we want to hit 1 million metric tons of rice or of maize this year, this month, this whatever, this quarter of the year. You have all these projections in mind.
Yeah.
So you can control the whole thing and make the achievements achievable.
Okay.
But if you put it in the hands of private people, it will be just like what Nanado said. Private partnership, one district, one factory. Look at what is happening. Nothing. Because private people have a certain way of dealing with this. But government, when you take charge, I believe government can be the most efficient department in any structure, government itself. Because I've seen the government of Singapore being one of the most efficient governments in the world. Malaysian government is efficient. South Korean government is very efficient. South Korean government, super efficient. So you can see how their progress is going. Chinese government, very efficient. They look at their numbers. They look at how much food they need to supply. They are not waiting for private people to go into it and be delaying and be giving all manner of excuses. Let the private people farm on their own. But you, as the government, go into your own farming. When the private people bring their supply and you bring in your supply, it brings in enough in the system so that we can have a stability in the system. But you do all that and leave it in the hands of private people. What if your opponent, the opposition party, wants to sabotage you, and they have their people in there farming?
Yeah.
It's easy.
Definitely.
So government, don't just set it up for the private people, but the government must run a farm itself. You are the second largest cocoa producing country in the world.
In the world of Africa.
In the world. Ghana is the second largest cocoa producing country in the world. So if you are the second, and that is just private farmers producing, how much more if government went into state farming for cocoa, and government had like 5,000, 50,000 metric hectares of cocoa farms? Where would our position be in 5 years? We'll be number one.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So I look at all the manifestos and I'm comparing them and I'm asking myself the questions. These guys have been around. These guys have been around. Okay, this is what they are promising now. What should I expect? Should I stay neutral? Because if I stay neutral, they are happy. If other guy stays neutral, they are happy. So that we can just be making small, small noise in the corners. But together, we'll never come together to work. And that is what they want. That is why you may see me veering off to a certain political party or whatever movement. Not just because I hate NDC and MPP, but because I'm looking at which manifesto actually makes sense for 2025 and going forward.
Because one of the reasons why I'm asking you is because I read a comment in one of your posts, and I think it was one of your followers asked you, you came into this platform as a neutral person. Then all of a sudden, I think you made a video saying why you should vote, or reasons why you should vote for Nana Kwame Bediako. And the person commented that, I thought you were the person who came into this industry or this media space talking about you are neutral and you're targeting the government. Now all of a sudden you are here talking to people to vote for Nana Kwame Bediako. So the person was like, okay, I see, what a world. So that is why it became like a bit, strange to me.
That person who made that comment, I don't think he has been watching my videos. I made an episode on TikTok titled, Why You Should Vote for Nana Kwame Bediako. I followed that up with another episode I titled, Why You Should Vote for John Dramani Mahama. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I've seen it.
So it's not just about Nana Kwame. I also made one for John Mahama. And don't be surprised you see me make another episode titled, Why You Should Vote for Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. You shouldn't be surprised.
But why are you making these episodes?
This is what I mean. And this is my plan.
Okay.
You see, people vote based on different reasons. I'm sure if you had a brother who is running for office and you think he had a chance to win, you would encourage people to vote for him.
Sure.
Okay. People have siblings. People have family. People have people they are very close to, that if that person should win, if that MP should win, they stand a chance of, seeing an improvement in their lives.
Yeah.
So for those people, it's not about the national thing.
Yeah.
It's not about the national expectation. It's about what they personally can also benefit. So people vote on different things. So I am not naive. When I'm speaking, I think through things. I consider where people stand. People are expecting different things from different people. You might be expecting the new government to come in and fix electricity. Somebody sitting somewhere have no interest in electricity. He's just hoping that the road connecting to his village will just be constructed.
Yeah.
Electricity or no electricity, they don't really care. There are people who just want water in this country. It is when they get the water, it is when they get the road, then they now look for electricity and now look for other things. But immediately they just want a clinic. Immediately they just want a road. So I put everything in perspective. And I tell people, listen, if you want to vote for this person, then it should be around this area, if this is what you are looking for.
Okay.
If you want to consider voting for this other person, then probably is because of this X, Y, and Z reasons. But if not so, and if you want to vote for this person based on this, this, and that, then I'm sorry you are not going to find it there. So don't vote for that person. So I am not saying vote for that person directly.
Okay.
I'm giving you a condition to think about. And if you think about the conditions I provided and you find it substantial enough to consider in voting for that person, then you go ahead. You get the point.
Yeah.
So when people say, oh, you are becoming this, no.
It's like you're taking a stand.
Yeah. You have to watch my videos and pay attention when you watch them. And you have to be following up with the episodes. Or else you may hear just one part of it and run with it.
But I have another question as to, you spoke about efficiency, about countries running, like you spoke about Singapore, China, and those kind of. Don't you think it's because of autocracy? Because I don't think they are democratic countries, right?
Singapore is democratic. South Korea is democratic.
China is.
Malaysia is democratic. China is the only one different.
So, democracy and autocracy, which one really works? Because it's like Africa, we all practice democracy, but it seems we are facing too many challenges. So, what could be the problem?
I don't think it's either of them. I think it's the people we vote for and the systems we run here. Listen, even if it was, autocracy, and even if we had one king who ruled Ghana,
Yeah.
if the king is corrupt, the country is doomed. Because that would mean that the king will be corrupt all the way till he dies before we can bring in another king. Because that is how kings are removed.
Mm-hmm.
You don't remove a king until he dies. Correct?
Yeah.
Good. If it was run by some family and they are corrupt, it will mean the same thing. We have to wait till that family passes away. So it's not about the person. It's not about the autocracy or democracy. It's about the people we elect and the system the people are in. Let me give you an example.
I'm listening.
If you look at the political parties in Ghana, when they elect their MPs to parliament, everything their MPs do in parliament will let you understand immediately why they are there. When you see how their MPs debate in parliament, when you pay attention to the things they are interested in parliament, you immediately know that these MPs are not sitting there thinking about Ghana. They are sitting there thinking about their political party, how to gain favor in their political party, how to win the next elections. That is all they are about. How to cut deals with the president so that the president will give them some grants, will give them some projects in their village or wherever, whichever constituency.
Yeah.
That is their interest. It is not about the national thing. Because if it is the national thing, then whoever is majority or minority in parliament wouldn't be an issue. The thing will be, if the policy is good for Ghana, then everybody would have supported it.
Yeah.
But you'll find them always fighting about every other thing. Because people are looking for their party interest, political party interest. So my problem is, number one, the people we vote for and the system these people run in. I've realized that we always vote for the wrong people. And these wrong people are produced by wrong systems. Mm-hmm. They have gone through the mills in their political parties. By the time you come out as the flag bearer in that party, you know what it takes. You become president. Yeah. 3 things are pressuring on you immediately. Yeah. From any of these 2 political parties, NDC, NPP, the same thing. When you become president, immediately the pressure from your political party, this is what you promised us. We're expecting you to deliver. These are the people who funded your campaign. They're expecting you to give them contracts. The party wants this. The party wants that. The party thinks you should take this man as whatever minister. That is the pressure coming from the party. Number 2, the people that voted for you, they have expectations. Yeah. We want this. We want this road. We want this water. We want this hospital. The people are shouting for what they were asking from you when you were campaigning. Yeah. Number 3, you as the president, your what do you call, your expectation, your dream of leaving a legacy, the legacy mindset that you had before you became, what you wanted to achieve for your own self in the country is the 3rd one. So you have what you had in your mind, what your political party is pressuring you to do, and what the people are expecting from you. Which of the 3 do you take seriously, or do you attend to immediately? One thing they never miss, one thing they never overlook is their political party. They can overlook the people, they can overlook their own egos, their own expectations, but they never overlook their political parties because they know their political parties put them there. Yeah. So they must always deliver for their political parties. So their political parties will bring them all manner of people to do business with, and they have to say yes. And that is why they never get anything done. They can promise you anything. But when they get there and the reality checks in, and their political parties begin to bring them all these people who are there to come and eat because they have paid, then
But
nothing gets
don't
done.
you think the world is a corrupt place? And I believe corruption is everywhere, right? So why is it that when it comes to Africa, we make it look like corruption is like the main problem? But why are we not thinking about, just like you said, it's the people? Because I believe every country has some level or some form of corruption. So why is it that in Africa, it's like a main problem when it comes to leadership, politics, and everything? Why is it always like...
America is more corrupt than Ghana. The European countries, they are more corrupt than Africans. They showed us what corruption is. But this is what they did. They are too smart.
I'm listening.
They provided the people the basic necessities. Let me show you what they did. They fixed the people's roads. They fixed their hospitals. They fixed their medical system. They gave them grants to buy cars and houses. They gave them a certain lifestyle. So you wake up in the morning, the first pressure on your mind is not where the next food is coming from. They gave these people all these things. When you wake up, you are thinking of doing big things when you live in America because there is job available. They gave them all these things you need to make your life a little colorful.
Okay.
So that your mind doesn't go too far in thinking, what are they doing with our tax money?
Yeah.
They give you all the small things. But Africa, the big men, the politicians, they deny you of the small things they have to do. The road, the hospital. Every year, the number of people dying on the road because of road accident is more than the people fighting in a real war in Ukraine. I'm talking about Ghana.
Okay.
The number of Ghanaians who are dying in a year, motorbike, car accident, in Ghana are more than the people who are actually fighting in a war, in war countries. So they deny you all these basic necessities, and they are still stealing the money. So every time you are frustrated, this is the problem. We continue to talk about corruption because if we had those things at our disposal, if we had good healthcare system, if we had roads fixed, if people can work and get money to buy homes, if people don't have to wait and go pension and then be praying on how they are going to live the rest of their lives, if people are not afraid malaria is going to kill them, if people didn't have all these unnecessary pressure on their head, people will not be even be thinking of government. People will just live their lives. That is how Europeans live their life. Their governments are corrupt, but they have all the things they need. So the excess money these people are chopping, they are like, they don't really pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Because I can also buy a car. I can also fly.
Yeah.
I can also buy a house. I live in a very nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see how it works.
Exactly.
But on this side of the fence, it isn't the same.
So what is happening? Is it a mindset or...
It is bad leadership. If we get one good leader in Ghana, one, he will whip everybody in line. Let me tell you what I mean. When I lived in China for 5 years.
Okay.
I learned everything I needed to learn. I realized that every problem in China is something the Chinese government deliberately looks at and monetize. You see the problems we have in Ghana. Chinese government, China itself has the same problems. Every country has the same problem. But the Chinese government looks at it differently.
Okay.
Let me give you an example. I lived in a street in Chongqing. It's a province in China, Chongqing. In that street in Chongqing, the people were very filthy, very dirty. They drink, they break bottles, they get the whole street dirty. They vomit all over the place. The Chinese government looks at that street and realizes that these people are always littering the street. Very dirty people in that street. You know what he does next? He puts up a system, which is a cleaning company, state-owned cleaning company. Every day, not every 1 week, every day around 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., the truck will come and clean the whole street with cleaners. Keep it totally clean. And I watched. It comes and clean. It comes and clean. At the end of the month, you are given a bill to pay. The people that lives on the
that
street.
community.
Yeah.
So the government will not even tell you that this is
tell
what we
you
are
to
doing.
Stop misbehaving. Continue misbehaving. I'll create job for somebody with it. Listen, if you see real leadership, you will know that Ghana can change in 4 years. This is why I do podcasting. When the government sees you are fooling with something, the government doesn't just tell you stop. He looks at you and says, oh, this guy, let's do this policy around this thing. From henceforth, anybody who fools around this thing must pay money. When you pay 1, 2, 3, you will stop. Nobody will tell you to stop.
Oh yeah, that one is true.
I saw village Chinese people come to city. Okay, when they come to city, you will know this guy is a village guy.
Yeah.
Because the skin color is different.
Yeah.
And you will see how they misbehave in the city. But you meet the person after 1 month, and you see the person's lifestyle has changed. They are not misbehaving again.
Yeah.
And I looked at it and I realized, oh, the system has whipped them in line. Because he may have littered some place once, and he was fine to pay.
Pay something, yeah.
He may have littered another place twice, and he was fine to pay again. So next time, what do you think he would do?
He won't do it
He
again.
wouldn't try.
Yeah.
A car jumps the red light. It's red, and the car runs through it. You think Chinese policeman is sitting there with no job, chasing after you?
No.
They have no time for that. They have no time for that. The moment you jump the traffic light in the province I state, that you jump the traffic light, in the next 10 seconds, your phone will receive a text message.
In the next 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Your phone will receive a text message. And you realize you have been billed. They give you the date, the area, and the time. And they tell you the crime you committed. You jump the traffic light at 6 p.m. around this road at this time, on this day. Your fine is maybe 20 Ghana cedis. Pay this money in the next 3 days, or else it attracts X and Y interest. Don't pay. Don't pay. Don't pay. When you don't pay, it is good for the Chinese government.
They don't even want you to pay.
Listen, if you choose not to pay, they want the thing to pile. By the time the police will stop you again, it is not giving bribery to the police officer. It will not even happen. Because whether you bribe the police officer or not, you still have to go and pay that money. With all the interest that it has accumulated. So they give you maybe 72 hours to go and pay. 20 Ghana cedis. You say, me, I will not pay. Okay, you're a tough guy. Okay, good. You'll be driving your car. After the 3 days, you see another text message. You didn't pay. So your interest have now gone up maybe 25%. So now you are at what? 25 cedis. It was 20
cedi.
You've gone to 25 cedis, 50%. Oh, me, I'm a tough guy. Okay. It comes back to you again. You are at 50 cedis. My brother, the next time they stop you, a real policeman stops you. They put your car number in their system. They know you owe this money. You are clamped. Your car is clamped. They are towing your car away to the station. And you are going to pay for the towing fee and the fee you owe for the, running through the lights with all the interest. Before you come out, you have spent about 300 Ghana cedis. You could have just paid 20 cedis. When you do this to a person once, twice, what do you think happens the third time?
They wouldn't do anything.
They will not jump the lights.
Yeah.
And when they jump the light, immediately they will pay. So all the money goes one place. I realize we don't have leadership in this country. The things they are saying when they are looking for power, they cannot do it because their parties will not allow them. If they want to do what they promise the people, their party wouldn't get the kind of money they are expecting. And that is why the nation is where it is.
So which means from the way you see things, there's no hope.
There is hope when we change and get a real leader. So there's a lot of hope.
And that leader is?